Hi all, Tara Miller here for Fabric.com. Today I'm going to be showing you two different methods for blocking your knitted projects. I'm going to show you to steam block and to wet block. So I will show you all the supplies that you need and how to get it done. We're going to be starting off with wet blocking, and I like to fill up my sink. If it's a small garment, I use my bathroom sink. If it's a larger garment, I either can use a big plastic tub if it's really big, like a sweater coat or an afghan, or I just use a bathtub. And I fill it with cool water because if you're wet blocking wool or alpaca or some sort of woolly coat fiber, then it will felt in warm or hot water. So you fill the sink with cool water first, and you can also add just a little bit of conditioner that helps loosen and soften the fibers. And then you'll stir it up in there, and then once you have enough water to allow your garment to move freely in the water, then you can stop and submerge your garment and gently swish it around. I'll show you how. Today I will be blocking my Knitting on the Bias sample that I knit for my a previous blog, and as you can see, the shape is a little wonky, and it's a little bit wider down here than it is here, and it's straight here, and it's on a diagonal here where I bound off. It's approximately 4 inches by 9 inches, so I am going to get by wet blocking, I'm going to get the shape correct and a better measurement, so that way I can see how big I want the actual finished scarf to be. And it is a cotton wool blend, so it's perfect for wet blocking. So what I'm just going to do is gently place it in the water, and you can swish it around a little bit, and you can squeeze, which helps push out the air and the fibers absorb the water. And you don't have to worry about it floating to the top. You don't have to weight it down to keep it in the water. As it soaks up more water, it will sink, and just floating in the water will help it absorb water. So what you're going to do is let it sit for at minimum 15 minutes, but half an hour is better, so that way it can soak up a lot of water and the fibers will get nice and relaxed, which is what you want for blocking. Okay, so our sample has been soaking for about 30 minutes, and I'm getting ready to take it out. So what you're going to need is a towel that is bigger than your project, and we're going to drain the water and then take out your project and gently squeeze out the water. You have to do it gently because you don't want to felt any of it. And then you're going to get a towel, and you're going to lay it out on the towel and gently roll it up and then squeeze it to get out all the water. And you're just going to roll it up. And for really big projects like sweaters and things like that, you can put it down on the floor and step on it, and it will help the towel absorb all the water. Now what you're going to do is you're going to unroll the towel and take out your project, and then gently lay it out on a blocking board, or you can use some of those foam floor tiles that you buy for kids, or some people like to use their bed. Anything that is a soft pinnable surface, and we're going to start pinning it out. So here we are on the floor of my studio, and I've got a quilting ruler. I've got one of those foam tiles I was talking about, but this one I actually bought specifically for blocking, but it looks like it's made out of the same material as the foam floor tiles that you can buy for a kid's playroom I've got some T-pins. You want to use rust proof because you'll be dealing with water and you don't want to get rust stains on your garment. And then of course we have our project. We're just going to unroll it and then gently place it face up on our tile. And then hold on, let me get my tripod so I can use both hands. To start out, I like to pin just one side, and that is sort of my baseline. I know that it's straight, and I can base all my other edges off of that one. So sometimes I like to put it right at the edge so I can make sure that it's nice and straight. And I pull it not too tight, but just tight enough, and you can feel how tight it is, but you don't want the stitches distorted. And then I take my ruler and I start along one edge and I make sure that it's straight. So I line up the ruler with the edge first. And then again, I pull it so that it's tight and I pin it at one end. And I like to angle my pins this way because if you angle them this way towards the knitting can slide up the pin and then it won't keep it in place. So if you do it straight up and down, sometimes, especially with lace, it will slide up. So I like to put pins about every inch, inch and a half. And this will really open up the cables too. These slid, so let's get it back on track. There and there. And then we'll do this edge. Let's make it straight along here. I'm using the ruler to make sure that everything is straight. And then I'm just going to line up everything with the edge of the ruler. Now I'm making this one a little closer than an inch because I've got the cable right here, and so it's pulling the fabric real tight. So I want to make sure that I get that to look the way I want. So sometimes you have to put your pins a little bit closer together and sometimes a little bit farther apart. But an inch, inch and a half is a good rule. That's getting a little distorted, so let's pull a pin right here and right here. And since this is on an angle, it wants to pull. So let's see if we can get it to a nice shape. We'll let the fibers bounce back a little bit so we can get a nice angled shape right here. Since it's on the bias. And I just bound off straight. I did not decrease. Here I increased to get it to this width. I increased here. But when I went here, I didn't decrease. I just bound off so that way I could use this as a blocking sample. For the finished scarf, you would decrease and then it would make a nice straight square edge like this one. But for now, it's just going to be on an angle because I just bound off without doing the decreases to give it that shape. And I'm going to pin the cable and this cable. And then in between, because it's pulling a little bit, and I want to give it that nice straight edge. And then you let it dry on the floor. Keep it out of direct sunlight. What I like to do is put my fan on the floor and have it blow across, and the air helps it dry that much faster. But it can take anywhere from 12 to 48 hours depending on the project. If it's a big project like a sweater which will have 2 layers, the front and the back. Typically when you block it, it will take a lot longer. But you can just keep coming and testing, and once it's dry you can unpin it and it'll look fabulous, and it should keep its shape. And that is how you wet block. So join us next time for part 2, and I'll be showing you how to steam block.